Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day. Today, we have the championship race here in the Career Mode now for the penultimate season of the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. One more season remains after this one, and of course, we're going for a championship in the Truck Series, Xfinity Series, as well as the Cup Series here today at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the Cup Series, but Phoenix for both Trucks and Xfinity. So excited to get this one underway, of course. And for the truck series, we actually ended up having a moderator in the truck for us here today, and that was Jay Cook. So getting ready to take the green, going for a championship here. It's going to be a tough day, I think, at Las Vegas. I mean, earlier this season we had a rough race, so I'm very curious to see how we're going to be able to perform this time out when we're going for a Cup Series champion. And of course, we're trying to go back-to-back championships here in the Cup Series and get our second one on the career mode for the NASCAR Heat 5 at least now. So back to the truck series though, Jay was working his way forward. Didn't have the best qualifying effort, of course, as we never do, and especially at Phoenix. It's such a tough racetrack here for us to run well at. Obviously in the Cup Series, this is where we won our first Cup Series championship last season in a late push at the end of that race. But now Jay over here making some moves up towards the front of the pack, and he was moving his way forwards, no problem. But unfortunately, he was being beat by one championship driver late in this race, and that was all it took, of course, now for Jay. As he came through the turns four, he would pass Ben Rhodes, who was in that final four, but obviously wasn't close enough to actually be able to win this championship here in the closing lap. So without a crash or something happening, it was not going to happen, and unfortunately that crash did not happen. So we cut straight through to the final lap, out of turns three and out of turns four, down the front straightaway. It was going to be a fourth place finish for Jay Cook. A strong race, but unfortunately comes up just short to John Hunter Nemechek, Chandler Smith, as well as Brett Moffitt there, and it is not going to be a championship race or a championship day in the Truck Series, as Chandler Smith is going to end up winning the championship. So a little bit disappointing for us there now, as you could see Chandler potentially move up into the Xfinity Series next season, so stay tuned on that. Of course, we'll have an off-season video next episode, which should go out tomorrow, just going over all of the new changes, and then the following day we'll have the Daytona 500 of the next and final season of the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. So now coming through into the Xfinity Series race here once again from Phoenix, Paul Menard, once again an opportunity to go for a championship. Paul, he's been close before, and last season we came to this championship race with Paul in the Final Four, and unfortunately he had zero speed in the Final Four race, so he never really was in the mix going for a title. He was definitely the slowest of the Final Four, but this time out he qualified pretty good. He wasn't inside the top 10 for qualifying, but overall he had a solid effort for qualifying and was going to get on the move right off the bat. Here goes through turns 1 and 2. Right behind that number 1 of Max Gutierrez there, gets into the back of him. Gutierrez, future Cup Series driver, as you guys know, in the next season, as he will be behind the wheel of the 43 of Eric Almirola's car, who will be retiring at the end of this episode, as well along with Denny Hamlin, who's retiring at the end of this episode here in the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. So it's going to be interesting to see how they can do. Hamlin, of course, going for a championship, but this is the last time you'll see Denny Hamlin in our NASCAR Heat Career Mode up until the new NASCAR game releases, probably later September would be my guess at this point now. So Paul, though, going for this championship, and he would actually get ahead of Rajah Caruth, but it was Tony Bradinger who was out in front of this championship battle. So Paul trying to run that number 98 car down, it was not happening. Bradinger got up into second place. Paul was moving up here into fourth place. Rajah Caruth putting on some pressure right there, but couldn't quite pull off the pass on Paul. And now as we come through to the final lap, it wasn't enough. Bradinger still in P2. Paul got up to P3 as he went down into turns 3 and 4. And just like the Truck Series, our team will come up one spot short of a championship here with a third place finish from Phoenix Raceway. So another attempt at the Final Four championship battle with Menard, and once again coming up just short. This time, of course, he had a lot more speed, and the car was a lot more competitive than last season. Just unfortunately didn't have enough speed to compete with that 98 of Tony Bradinger, who wins the championship here in the Xfinity Series. So now we're going to jump through, though, into the Cup Series, and of course the one that matters the most with us us behind the wheel now as we're looking to go back-to-back championships here in the Cup Series. Can we pull it off here today? Completely different type of track compared to last season. I've been having a blast using this modded schedule, and I really wanted a competitive race for the Final Four, and I feel like we're going to get that here today at Las Vegas. So we come through in qualifying. The goal was to hit a 31.472. I was confident we could get at least close to that and qualify, hopefully in the top 15. And as we come through to cross the line, we beat the goal. We hit a 30.933 here in the South Point 400, and we qualify P11 for the Final Four championship race here. As you can see, we have the members paint scheme on the car. All the members have their names on the car for this episode. But there you see the Final Four drivers. Custer, by the way, on the pole, but Kyle Busch P4, Jones, Brandon Jones P6, Denny Hamlin P7, myself down here in P11 here as we get ready to take the green flag for the final time this season for the championship race here for the South Point 400 from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. All right, boys, it's been a long, hard season, but I'm confident we can win today. So, I mean, the fact that we're here in the Final Four in the first place is surprising enough, but I don't see any reason why we can't win today. There you hear myself on the radio too, the team getting ready to take the green flag. Now, Chase Elliott, by the way, his final race at Hendrick Motorsports here today. He'll be moving to McLaren next season, and he's now going on like 2 full seasons winless, by the way, if he doesn't pull it off today. Denny Hamlin, his final race of his NASCAR Cup Series career in that FedEx Toyota Camry, and once again, he has a shot to go for his first ever championship. Eric Almirola as well, his final race of his NASCAR Cup Series career before Max Gutierrez replaces him, and of course, Ty Gibbs to the 11 for Denny Hamlin. Now, as the green flag is up, the championship 4 race is underway. Kyle Busch, Brandon Jones, Denny Hamlin, myself going for the championship here today from Las Vegas Motor Speedway, or tonight I should say. Now, of course, it's Joe Gibbs Racing versus Hendrick Motorsports, basically, because even Brandon Jones is a JGR Alliance team, so we're pretty much stacked up against a JGR Final Four. So it's going to be tough to win tonight here, but Brandon Jones, of course, the big, cool story kind of coming into this one, that Gaunt Brothers Racing team, the massive underdog. They won Daytona, the Daytona 500 earlier this season. They won Sonoma Raceway. That one was a bit of a surprise win. Of course, Daytona, you never know what to expect, but then they put all of their resources into investing into this playoff run, and that got them to the Final Four. They have 3 wins now on the season now, but I am not holding back. I'm being aggressive. We make it 3 wide here right off the bat, and immediately I can tell a problem. Denny Hamlin is way off the pace, and he was dropping like a rock. And just on the 3rd lap of this race, we could consider him done for this Final Four now, as we were right behind Kyle Busch, and I'm trying to take an early commanding lead to this championship battle, and you're going to see the aggression right here. 4 wide as we come through out of turn 4 with Kyle Busch, Tyler Reddick, and Brandon Jones. 3 of those drivers we're going here, or are going through this 4 wide, are in that Final Four. So we move up into P6. Brandon Jones briefly takes over the championship lead, then Kyle Busch goes back up my inside. I found out very quick Kyle Busch has a very fast car here from Las Vegas Motor Speedway, but out of turn, see, look at us get ahead of that 42 of Reddick, now passing that number 96 again to Brandon Jones, but I was continuing to run this outside here, trying to make some passes on guys like Keselowski as we came through out of turn 4, but once again, Brandon Jones gets up the inside, and we're now 3 wide with him and Kyle Busch in that number 18 M&M's Toyota Camry, and here comes Christopher Bell. He was expected to be at Joe Gibbs Racing next season, but in a late turn of events with the whole LeBron James Roush Fenway Racing deal, well, now Christopher is going to be replacing Chris Buescher. So that means Buescher's going to go down to the Xfinity Series, actually with the JGR program. So he's going to go kind of doing a swap as well. But you can see, by lap 10 of this first stage, I was dropping like a rock compared to Kyle Busch and the rest of the top 5. And I was under attack from Noah Gragson. I was under attack from Joey Logano. Well, Christopher Bell, Kyle Busch, they moved up into P1 and P2. And now the concerns are building. I'm realizing very quick we need some adjustments on this car, because I am starting to continue to drop Joey Logano. Our rival gets past. And then I would actually fight back up the inside of Noah Gragson, and as I kind of expected, the older tires are going to be the advantage here for us today. So what we're hoping is for some long green flag runs throughout this race. Now on lap 14, we get past Noah Gragson, move back up into P6, but of course you can definitely be aware that I was concerned, and especially when I make a mistake like that on lap 17 out of turn 2, we caught that outside wall, and that brought Gragson right back to our left rear quarter panel into turns 3. So I was anticipating some changes here on the pit lane immediately. Now is actually we have a car on the pit lane smoking there as we come through down the front straightaway. That was the number 3 of Austin Dillon. Now with 2 laps to go in this first and opening stage. The field light comes on just after we cross the line, so it's actually going to be very close right here on field. So I wasn't sure if it was going to actually get to the line as we come through now on this final lap of stage 1. Christopher Bell still leading over Kyle Busch here as we're about a whole straightaway nearly back from Kyle Busch as we go down into turn 3. Joey Logano, by the way, looks like he might be coming into the pit lane, and out of turn 4, Christopher Bell comes into the pit lane. Actually, Logano's going to stay out, and as we exit turn 4, we actually start to run out of fuel coming through down the front straightaway, so we're going to just hang on to the line. Now as the cars come behind us, the 47's not going to get us, so thank goodness that did not happen. But I got hit from behind right there, and that's going to actually potentially mess up our restart here for the start of stage 2, but Kyle Busch ends up winning stage 1. We get P6. We're second in the championship 4 right now, but Kyle Busch way better than anybody right now. Denny Hamlin is unbelievably far off. Hamlin will not be a threat for this championship here, unfortunately, in his final race, but you see me making some big adjustments as well with grill tape, wedge, as well as tire pressures, because I could tell we needed to work on this car if we were going to be any threat tonight. Kyle Busch was in a league of his own compared to the other final 4 drivers, which was definitely concerning to myself, of course, here, but we're going to come in to get 4 tires as well as 2 cans of fuel. Christopher Bell, he is actually going to stay out because he just came to the pit lane there as the stage was coming to a close, so he will retake the lead over Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, Chase Briscoe, and then Cole Custer. Now, is the car, sure enough, not going to launch at all here to start stage 2, but now it is time to get amped. There you have the AMP segment here for the final time this season here from Las Vegas Motor Speedway in the Championship 4 race. Stage 2 not off to the start we are looking for whatsoever. Kyle Busch running up there in the top 3. Jones now second in the Championship 4 running P11, and the adjustments we made there on the pit lane at the end of stage 1 were not working whatsoever. We were dropping, I guess you could say, like a rock here. We were down to P14 here as we go down into turns 1, 3 wide with the number 88 of Byron, who has a bit of a wobble. He goes into the side of us, and now he's going to go spinning through turns 1. A huge hit there to the outside wall, head-on collision, and the caution's going to come out. The 19 of Harrison Burton gets a piece of it as well, and I've decided to take this as my opportunity as we clash with an Alliance teammate. I'm realizing the car is so far off after those adjustments. I said we're not even going to be a contender for a top 10 here as Kyle Busch is running up front. I decide we're pitting. We're making more adjustments. We're going to give up our track position because I was so concerned with how this car was driving. We're not going to win a championship tonight with a car driving like this, so we need to take this opportunity, try to make up this track position as this stage goes on and get back up into this battle. But as like I said, you can imagine the concerns were building up. I was not happy at all with how this car was driving, so we get back underway with just 9 laps to go here in this second stage, and thank goodness we have the time on the table here, and as well we have a bit of a stack up here from both lanes, and I'm able to actually gain a good chunk of positions. We move back up to P27, but like I said, thank goodness we have time here. We got 9 laps to be able to work our way back up to hopefully the top 15 was kind of the goal to get this car back up to now, as Kyle Busch was continuing to run up front. And I mean, if we kept on driving around like the car was there before I had pitted, there's no chance we win a championship here tonight. But Joey Logano, he got back up there into the mix going for the win as well, so he of course is going to be another obstacle that we have to worry about if we have to maybe go through him to get to Kyle Busch. Well, you know, Joey's not going to make it easy on myself, especially after Iowa with our clash late in that race, which ended up having him eliminated from the playoffs instead of advancing into the final 4 here tonight now. But sure enough, we were moving our way forwards, and by the time it came through to start the final lap, we had gotten up to P15 here in stage 2 as Logano continues to lead the way. Haley Deegan running there in P14. She will be returning to that number 4 car next season with that Monster Energy Ford Mustang for Stewart-Haas Racing. But Stewart-Haas, they've really been on the decline over the last season or so with their R&D, and you've been seeing their performance falling off now, as they only have 2 wins this season with Matt DiBenedetto as well as Brad Keselowski. Sorry, 3 wins, as Keselowski has won 2 races. But we come through down the front straightaway to cross the line, barely getting in front of that 4 car, and we're going to get P14 here in the second stage. So a little bit concerning still, but the car definitely drove a lot better with those adjustments on the car. So I wasn't hitting the panic button because I was confident we can work our way forwards here in stage 3. But only 1 stage already to go here from the Final 4 race at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Kyle Busch in a league of his own. And it's not like he has a car that's groundbreaking right now. It's just so much better than the rest of the Final 4 of myself, Brandon Jones, and definitely Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin's looking like he's driving a car on a 3-star team right now, so very unfortunate for him, and he will not have a chance to win a championship here tonight from Las Vegas. So, of course, we come into the pit lane again for 4 fresh tires, 2 cans of fuel. We did make a very slight adjustment again on the car. We gained 1 spot on the pit lane, and now our P13 as the green flag is back out. Time is running out as Kyle Busch continues to run inside the top 3, top 5, the majority of this race, and all we have left is 25 laps to find a way to go back-to-back Cup Series champion here from Las Vegas. I'm confident we can pull it off. We always seem to find a way here in these final stages of these important races. So here we are today with an opportunity to do the same thing, as I'm going to try and find a way to the outside, but unfortunately I side drafted the 29 of Cole Custer so hard that he got pulled back and I never had that opportunity to slide up in behind him. But now up into P11, a very easy pass actually on that 29 car. Now to the back of the 43, we're going to look to the outside of him as we come through to complete this first and opening lap. Kyle Busch off to a bit of a rough opening lap here in stage 3 now, as we're going to try and get all the way up to that outside wall, and that actually hurt me way more than it helped me, so definitely don't want to be doing that anymore here, as I could have taken it 3 wide right here with this 43 of Almirola, with the 14 of Briscoe, but I didn't feel comfortable with running that inside yet, so I stay up here on the top, and you can just see the run we get as we come through out of turns 4, and now side by side with Chase Briscoe. Unfortunately, I might have gotten side by side with Briscoe, but the pass never actually got completed. We cut through all the way to lap 51. We did get past the 10 of Eric Almirola, but that was it. We were still working on passing this 14 of Chase Briscoe. But what was different was now the car was really starting to come in a lot earlier in the run. Now Kyle Busch, he was a little ways up the track now, as he was already coming out of turns 4 as we're going into turns 4, but the car was getting quicker and quicker as this run was going on, and now we put the attack to Noah Gragson a lap later on lap 52, and we're getting, of course, close to the back of the 99 of Sam Mayer, to the 33 of Austin Cindric, and the speed in this car is definitely, we have a lot more speed, I should say, in this car than a lot of the competition here inside the top 10 all of a sudden. Now Gragson, of course, giving me a hard time, not wanting to get past, of course, as we go down into turns 1, but we are sure enough going to be able to complete it on Gragson right there. And then it would take me a few laps to get past this duo here of Cindric and Mayer, but now out of turns 4 up the inside of that 33 Penske driver of Austin Cindric now, as he made it into the playoffs. Didn't get very far, of course, now as we go down into turns 1, though. We get clear of that 33 car, so up to P7, but we only have 12 laps to go at this point now as we exit turn 2 to the back of that 99. I was considering just tandem drafting Sam and trying to push him up to the 10 of DiBenedetto, but out of turns 2 on lap 57, 11 laps to go, side by side now with that 99 cars behind us. Bubba Wallace goes spinning into the outside wall. That's going to bring out a late race caution and give us a chance to fight with Kyle Busch here for the championship. Kyle has been in position to win the championship all night long, and now it really feels like our car is coming to life in the very late stages. It's only 10 laps to go. I come into the pit lane. I decide 2 tires is all we're going to do on the right side, and just a splash of fuel, and sure enough, that is the right call to go with. Kyle Busch just now 2 rows in front of us. Between him and myself, we got Matt DiBenedetto and that Stewart Haas Racing Old Spice number 10 car. The green flag is back out. 7 laps to go here to decide a champion here. Kyle Busch looking for his 4th championship, which would tie Jeff Gordon. I'm looking for my 2nd championship. Denny Hamlin, of course, still looking for his 1st, and Brandon Jones as well, looking for his 1st Cup Series championship here as we exit turns 2 side by side with our future teammate Ryan Blaney, who's he's having a strong run here tonight from Las Vegas. He's going to try and get down in front of myself. Kyle Busch trying to get to the inside of Joey Logano now. It's not the opening lap of this restart I was quite looking for here as we exit turns 4. We're going to have to use these guys up if we want to get to Kyle Busch, so I'm not going to be afraid to make contact, maybe run somebody wide, and maybe even put them in the wall if I have to here as we go down into turns 1. Sure enough, though, we get past that number 7 of Ryan Blaney here as we come through turns 1 and out of turns 2. Now up the inside of Christopher Bell. It would take me a moment to actually be able to pass this number 20 car as well of Bell here as we cut straight through to the end of lap 63. Out of turns 4, I forced that 20 all the way up into the outside wall there. That was a little bit too much. I was not trying to put him in the wall, I was just trying to run him wide, but unfortunately we put the number 20 car just right into that wall. But now we have to make a move on Matt Benedetto, Joey Logano, Kyle Busch going at it, scrapping it out for the win here from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. But here we are now moving up into position to get 3rd place, the best we've run all night long. This car has come to life, but has it come to life enough to go and run down that 18 of Kyle Busch with 3 laps remaining at the line to go for a championship here as I do the same thing to that 10 cars I did to the 20. I just run him wide, but to now 2 laps to go on the season, and we were not gaining anything on Kyle Busch or Joey Logano. They're both a second ahead, and we're going to need a caution again to get us back into the mix here to go after Kyle Busch. But down this back straightaway into turn 3, we only have about 10 to 15 seconds at most to get that caution here as we come through the center of 3, out of turns 4, down the front straightaway. Kyle Busch leads over Joey Logano, and sure enough, white flag in the air. Now all we can hope is that the 18 blows the right front tire or anything, or something goes wrong for him as we go down into turns 1 and 2 for the final time. And we struggled with this car all race long. We finally got it competitive enough to run top 5 and get into the top 3, but 3rd place is not going to cut it here tonight from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Kyle Busch was in a league of his own, and out of turns 4, Kyle Busch will become a 4-time NASCAR Cup Series champion, as we are unfortunately not going to go back-to-back, and we have to settle for a 3rd place finish here from the South Point 400 at Las Vegas. Now Kyle Busch, 4 Cup Series championships, ties Jeff Gordon now, as I'm just a little bit, of course, disappointed as you guys can imagine. Brandon Jones gets a strong P12 finish there. Honestly, didn't expect that team to, of course, get as far as they did. Denny Hamlin, an extremely disappointing final race to his Cup Series career, finishes in P28. You would have never even imagined he was in the Final 4. But there you see it. Kyle Busch wins the championship. Unfortunately, you can't see the stats at the end of the season, so we're going to have to save that for the start of next season. We'll be showing that in the Daytona 500 episode, but just unfortunate I couldn't bring you guys a championship again, but of course we have one more season remaining of the NASCAR Heat 5 career mode. Next season will be the last before we move on to that new NASCAR game when that comes out to later this year. So if you guys enjoyed, you know what to do. I'd like to thank you all, of course, as the usual, for the continued support you've continued to give me throughout this series. Now we've done so many seasons of the Cup Series, and I've enjoyed each and every single one. In the next one, we'll have, of course, our off-season video, and I would, of course, like to say thank you to the Going Racing members as well of MJ, Joseph 9001, Timothy Arline, Bubba Jr., Brett Durward, Dark Gengar Gaming, AJ Vasura, Russell Dixon, Kenneth Barnett, Dana9302, as well as King Matt XL. I appreciate you guys' support so much. Once again, thank you so much, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.